1301 students. I hope everyone is doing well. We have just begun this course, so I thought it was a good time to inform you and let you know how your discussion board posts will be graded. I want you to know that when I read your discussion board post, I'm going to be looking at the content, what you wrote. I'm going to be looking to see, did this student answer the question? Did this student provide thoughtful content that shows they thought about this and that they put something into this? So I'm going to be looking at content. But I want you to know that I'm also going to be looking at your grammar and mechanics. I cannot ignore your grammar and your mechanics in your discussion board posts and then turn around and take off points when your grammar and mechanics are off in your essays. So when I see errors in grammar and mechanics in your discussion board posts, you will have a lower grade because of that. So what you want to do, since your discussion board posts are short, they're very brief, sometimes you're only writing a few sentences, there is no reason why you cannot reread, edit, think about what you're writing, look up a couple of words. You only have a few because it's just a few words. Look up a couple of words. Make sure you've got your subject-verb agreement. This is good practice for you so that when you write an essay, you don't get slammed all of a sudden and have a low grade. So as you're writing those discussion posts, I expect that you're using them as practice so that when you have to write a longer essay, you can get it right. So I'm going to show you a discussion board post right now. And I'm going to show you, this came from a student, and this is actually a discussion board that you will be doing. And I just want to let you see the types of mistakes that I will be taking off for. All right, this student writes, the Montana Meth Project ad covers all of the rhetorical devices. Well, ad should not be capitalized. It is a common noun. The student also writes rhetorical devices. This word should not be capitalized either. It is a common noun. Now, if this student would simply have looked back over the content that they had to read to complete this assignment, they would have seen the word rhetorical many times and not capitalized. That's something that you can simply copy. Words that you have to use a lot. If you're curious as to whether or not they should be capitalized, you can simply look back at your content. Then the student goes on and writes, and the student writes here, the Montana Meth Project ad covers all of the rhetorical devices. Well, that ad doesn't cover the rhetorical devices. The ad is not explaining rhetorical devices. What does the student mean by covers? Well, I know what the student means. He means they use the rhetorical devices. I know that because I'm his instructor, but the reader shouldn't have to figure things out. The writer is supposed to be explicit and specific. And so what he should have done is said the Montana Meth ad uses all of the rhetorical devices. Next sentence says first, and a comma should be there. First, the ethos device is used by persuading the users or becoming users to be aware of the negative impact that will happen into your body. Well, ethos is another common noun that should not be capitalized. And the student wrote here by persuading the users or becoming users. Well, that is an awkward way to explain that the student is referring to people who may consider using methamphetamines. Well, the student should have stated that clearly and not require the reader to figure it out. If the reader has to try to figure out what you're saying, your writing is unclear. And so the student goes on to say, to be aware of the negative impact that will happen into your body. Well, here, the student is writing in the third person because he says the users or becoming users, which is awkward, but still it's the third person. And when you're doing a lot of your academic writing, especially when you're writing essays, you need to write in the third person. Avoid the first person and avoid the second person. But the student, one thing you really do not want to do is flip in the middle of your writing, your essay, your entire essay, the middle of your paragraph, and certainly not in one sentence. This student flips from the third person to the second person because now he's saying into your body. And of course, he should not use the word into, he should say in your body. The next sentence, I'll just read one more sentence. It says, the ad, again, ad should not be capitalized, is targeting 2 young teenagers to stay away from drugs that will have a huge impact in their life by demonstrating a person that has been ruined by the drugs. So this shouldn't say 2 young teenagers. It should just say the ad is targeting young teenagers. And it is not targeting the young teenagers to stay away, but it's targeting the young teenagers in order that they will choose to stay away or that they will stay away. So this word, you putting 2 in here makes this awkward. From drugs that will have a huge impact in their life by demonstrating a person that has been ruined by the drugs. Demonstrating is misspelled. Okay, so this shows that this student just fired off a quick discussion board post. And I don't want you to think that because it's a discussion board post, you can write any old kind of way, like you're writing a text to your friend. Your writing, your discussion board writing, I expect it to adhere to grammatical and mechanical rules of writing. Because if you practice in this small setting, you will be better able to get a good grade on your longer essays. So if you're struggling in any of these areas, and I'm sure most of you are not struggling like this student was, but this is a discussion board post, and likely he didn't put much effort into it. And so I don't want you to get shocked and surprised when your grade is lowered because of grammar and mechanics in your discussion board post. And let me say that I will not take off points for grammar and mechanics on your first discussion board post, the one where you're introducing yourself. I'm just going to read, and I'm going to give everybody 100, as long as you get it in on time, and as long as you put in your replies. Everybody gets 100. But after that, I expect you to pay attention to your grammar and mechanics, even in a short discussion board post.